Every day, billions of people share photos, opinions and updates on social media. In fact, almost 70% of the world's population now uses social media. That's around 5.8 billion people connecting online. It's become such a normal part of our lives that we often don't think twice before hitting that post button. But as an education professional, one post can have a huge impact. Hiya everyone, I'm Zoe from My Progression, and in this video we'll explore how to use social media safely and professionally. We'll look at protecting your privacy, maintaining appropriate boundaries with pupils, avoiding common mistakes, and making sure your online activity reflects the high standards expected of everyone working in education. Being an education professional doesn't mean you need to avoid social media altogether. It can be a fantastic way to stay in touch with friends and family, celebrate achievements, learn from other educators and share positive experiences. The key is knowing where to draw the line between your personal life and your professional responsibilities. This is part of working within education and one of your responsibilities working with children and young people. So, before we go any further, keep one question in the back of your mind throughout this video. Before I post this, who might see it and how might they interpret it? Social media never forgets. One of the biggest misconceptions about social media is that deleting something makes it disappear. However, this is rarely true. A post can be screenshotted within seconds, photos can be downloaded, messages forwarded, and comments shared far beyond the audience that you originally intended it for. Even if your account is private, you can't completely control what other people do with the content you share. That's why it's helpful to think of every post as something that could become public. That doesn't mean you should be worried every time you upload a holiday photo or celebrate a birthday online. It simply means taking a few extra seconds before pressing post. Ask yourself, could this be misunderstood? Would I be comfortable if a parent saw it? And would I be happy explaining it to my head teacher? Sometimes that quick pause is enough to stop a post you'll later regret or confirm to you you're definitely making the right decision when posting. Your personal account is still personal, but you're still a professional. One question people often ask is whether education professionals are allowed to have personal social media. Absolutely, of course you can. You don't need to stop being yourself because you work in a school. The important thing is recognising that people don't always separate your personal identity from your professional one. Imagine a parent comes across your profile and sees posts containing strong opinions on controversial topics, heated debates, or language that they find inappropriate. Even though these posts were shared in your personal time, they could influence how that parent views you as someone working with children. And it's worth remembering that professionalism doesn't end when a school day finishes. The nature of the role means it simply follows us into the online world as well. Privacy settings are important, but they're not magic. One of the best and safest things that you can do is spend a few minutes checking your privacy settings. Make sure you're happy with who can see your posts, your photos and personal information. As well as this, you may want to review who can tag you in pictures or mention you in posts. Something I would also recommend doing is looking at your search settings. Is your name searchable to everyone? Something you can do on social media is reduce how easily people can find your profile or change your username or @ so parents and pupils can't search for you. For example, some teachers use a different name altogether, their middle name is their last name or their maiden name. Something that can be easy to forget is that privacy settings only reduce the chances of people accessing your posts or something being shared widely. They don't eliminate the possibility altogether. As well as this, remember, photos often reveal more than we realise. Uniforms, street names, number plates, school logos or live location sharing can all reveal personal information without us even noticing. The best thing to do is turn off your location settings when posting, especially when posting live. A good way to look at it is, if you wouldn't want something becoming public, it's safest not to post it at all. Maintaining professional boundaries with pupils. This is one of the most important areas when it comes to social media. Professional boundaries exist to protect both you and the pupils you work with. You should never add current pupils on your personal social media, accept their friends' requests, or communicate with them through private messaging apps. A question that often comes up is, well, what about former pupils? Now, there's no specific UK law that says school staff can't connect with a former pupil on social media once they've left school. However, government guidance is deliberately cautious. The Department for Education advises staff to avoid accepting friends requests from pupils, past or present, unless there's a clear reason to do so and guidance has been sought from a senior manager. Even if a former pupil is now over 18, it's worth asking yourself a few important questions. What would you gain from that connection? What's the purpose of the relationship going forward? And could it be viewed as being inappropriate by colleagues, parents or your school? Even if your intentions are completely innocent, social media connections can create misunderstandings or place your professional reputation at unnecessary risk. The same careful thinking applies to connecting with parents or family members. If you become Facebook friends with a parent, what happens if they begin messaging you about school issues? What if you later teach your younger sibling? Could other parents see it as favouritism? These situations can blur the line between your professional and personal life. Let's think about a situation you might actually face. Imagine it's the end of the school year and one of your pupils is moving on to a new school. Their parent thanks you for all your support and says, "My child has sent you a friend request. They'd love to keep in touch." What would you do? Now, it might feel uncomfortable to say no, but the professional response is not to accept the request. This isn't about being unfriendly, it's about maintaining clear professional boundaries and protecting everyone involved. A simple response such as, "Thank you, that's very kind, but I don't connect with pupils or parents through my social media accounts," is polite, professional and applies consistently to everyone. Think carefully before posting about school. Many schools now have fantastic social media pages that celebrate learning, share achievements and keep parents informed. This shows that when used well, social media can be a brilliant communication tool and valuable for both schools and parents. But personal accounts are very different. Even if you're incredibly proud of something that's happened during the school day, it's important to think carefully before sharing it. Every school will have its own policies around social media, online conduct and acceptable use. Before posting anything related to your work, make sure you understand your school's expectations. If you're ever unsure, ask. Sharing photographs or information about pupils without permission could also breach data protection and safeguarding procedures. It's important to remember that safeguarding isn't just about photographs of children. Sharing stories, funny classroom moments or behaviour incidents might seem harmless, especially if names aren't included. But sometimes people can still work out who you're talking about. A good rule to remember is, when in doubt, leave it out. Protecting children's privacy should always be a priority. Here's another situation for you to think about. You've had a difficult day at work, a meeting didn't go well and you're feeling frustrated. You start typing a post that says, "Some parents really need to take more responsibility." You don't mention any names or even the name of the school, so surely that's okay, right? Absolutely not. Even without names, people may work out who you're referring to and your professional reputation could be damaged, as comments made in frustration can easily be shared, screenshotted or taken out of context. The best thing you can do is put your phone down, take some time to cool off and decide later whether that post really needs to be shared at all. Let's face it, most posts written in frustration feel less necessary once the moment has passed. Would you gain anything from a post like that, and is it worth it? Keeping those professional boundaries both in who you connect with and what you post helps protect you, your pupils and your school. If you need support after a challenging day, it's always better to speak to trusted friends, colleagues or family rather than venting online. My Progression is brought to you by TeacherActive. Keeping on top of your CPD just got even easier with the TeacherActive app. You can browse through all My Progression videos and test your knowledge straight away by gaining and downloading CPD certificates right onto your phone. So what about comments and online discussions? Sometimes the biggest problems don't come from what you post, but what you comment. It's easy to get drawn into heated posts online, whether it's politics, local issues or a controversial news story. Social media encourages people to react quickly, often before they've had time to think. A good rule to follow is to ask yourself, what positive outcome will come from this? Healthy, respectful discussion and constructive debate are absolutely fine, but if a comment is simply adding negativity, fueling an argument or written in the heat of the moment, it's usually better to step away. As an education professional, your online behaviour should reflect the same professionalism, respect and good judgement that you demonstrate in school. If you wouldn't feel comfortable explaining your comment to your head teacher, colleagues, pupils or parents, it's best not to post it in the first place. Your digital footprint. Every post, photo, comment and like contributes to your digital footprint. A good way to think about this is that it's your online reputation. If someone searched your name today, what would they find? Would it reflect the type of education professional that you want to be? Everything you post on social media leaves a trail. Therefore, making thoughtful choices today will prevent difficult conversations tomorrow. Social media isn't something that you should fear as an education professional. It's simply something that you should use responsibly. The good news is that staying safe online doesn't require complicated rules. Most of the time, it comes down to slowing down for a moment before you post, thinking about how you're protecting your privacy, and considering whether you're maintaining professional boundaries. Most importantly, remember that once something is online, you may no longer be in control of where it goes. So before you hit that post button, pause for just a second and ask yourself one simple question. Would I still be comfortable with this if my head teacher, a parent, a colleague, or one of my pupils saw it tomorrow? If the answer is yes, you're probably making a sensible choice. If you're unsure, give yourself a little more time to think. If you have to think about it, it's probably not a good idea. Throughout this video, we've looked at lots of different situations, but if you remember just one thing, remember this acronym, PAUSE. Before you post, ask yourself, P, is it public? A, is it appropriate? U, is it understandable if shared? S, does it align with your school values? And E, is everyone going to be comfortable seeing it? Thank you for watching. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more practical advice for education professionals. And as a positive way of using social media today, why not share this video with a colleague? You might help them protect their professional reputation, avoid a common mistake, or simply feel more confident using social media safely. I've been Zoe from My Progression. Let's keep your career in motion.